Good evening. Sitting here in Arkansas. Come in early. Tried to getting in a little early, but as usual, Walmart said, "Get out of here." So, as you can see, I got a little cheat sheet here. Hopefully this video be a little more structured. But I can't promise I won't ramble a little bit. With that said, here we go. Little overview. I got come into contact with 3 different drivers. Then there's a new truck stop down there on 44. I'll put that new truck stop thing at the end of the video. Kind of start off with kind of the theme of the video, putting aside the classes or classifications of the drivers, owner, operator, independent, lease operator, company driver. We're all pretty much the same. We're all going for the same thing. We're out here to make money for us and our family. We're pretty much cut from the same cloth, stuck in the same boat. We kind of do it to ourselves. We get ourselves in these zones, these comfort zones. We get complacent. And we stick ourselves in there, even though it's hurting us, or company, or our family, or our finances, all the above. Why do we do it? Why do we stay there? Which brings me to the 3 different people that I've come into contact, drivers. The first one I'll talk about is a lady. She's out of Dubuque, or rather, she leases her truck from a company in Dubuque. I'm not sure that that's their main place or what have you, but they lease she leases from there. That's where they got a yard. I'll leave the name up to your imagination. If you know the area, you probably know who it is. But nevertheless, we was next to each other in a Petro. I can't even remember where the hell it was now. It's a few months ago. But she'd seen me at different locations, because I run a reefer box, they run reefer boxes. And I guess she's seen me at a few different locations she's been at. And so she asked me about the company I'm leased to. Long story short, we had a little conversation. I told her we're not. We discussed some things. She went on to tell me how this company she's leasing a truck from at this point has been the 4th company. I don't know whether it's somebody at the company she's leased to, or all of them that she's been leasing from. They've been telling her that she got to get rid of her personal, get rid of expenses. That's how she's going to make it. Because she told me, this is the 4th place she's been to. She thinks it's, maybe this one's got better freight. She's been there. She was there for a few months before I seen her. I seen her a couple months ago. And so whoever's got her ear, or whoever's mentoring her through either this company or all of them, has told her to, they got to get rid of those bills. Got to get rid of that stuff. That's how they're going to make it. Well, she got rid of her apartment, got a storage bin. I think she said she paid like $50 a month for that little bin that she got, a storage room. She got rid of her apartment. Says she had a junky car. She sold that to somebody for a few $100. So now she don't have the insurance. She don't have the apartment. It wasn't a very big apartment the way it sounded. It was efficiency. So I told her, "What do you do for home time?" And she goes, "Well, the good thing about it is now I don't have to go. I can't remember where it was, but it was out east somewhere." She goes, "I don't have to go physically go over there to go home. You know, they don't have a load for me. I just get a motel for a day or two." And come to find out, she's doing this 2 to 3 times a month. She was only paying like $800 for that efficiency. She's probably paying more than that in motel. So I told her she'd probably better off going company. You know, if that company did company drivers, switch over to company instead of doing this. And I told her about, you know, because I told you I ran into 3. Well, what she was talking to me about reminded me of a gentleman I run into a few years ago. I haven't run into him for about a year or so now, but I was running into him kind of regular for about 3 years. And so he probably got his truck now, at least onto somebody. But he told me it was 4 years. He's going to do it for 4 years. But he was a company driver. He got rid of his apartment. He had a pickup that was paid for. He had a car that he had payments on. He sold the car to his sister-in-law for a little bit down, and then she took over payments. So the only thing he had to pay was his pickup insurance, and he had the storage bin, so he didn't clutter up his mom and dad were divorced, and he'd stay with his mom or his dad or his brother, you know, whoever he could stay with on his home time. Then he had his own pickup. So what money he spent, whether while he was at home or while he was in a truck, was less than he was paying before, because he got rid of the apartment, he got rid of the car payment, and I think his car payment was like $550, I think is what he said, and then he had to pay insurance on top of that. So now you don't have a car payment, don't have the insurance payment on the car. So I was telling her about all this, and it's like it was going right over her head. She really couldn't understand, because I don't think she really pays attention to what she's spending. What do you do? Because obviously these people that only have, when you're getting mentored, and the people that got your ear and you're listening to them, you know, when it's over there and they're over there in that company, they don't have that person's, like this lady's, best interest at heart. What they're telling her is better for that company. Those leases are not all that great. For the company it is, because there's a lot of stuff that they don't have to pay, because now he's a contractor. What do you do? And when they won't listen, you know, you can't blame them for wanting to better themselves, but you don't want to sit there and bash on them. Hopefully, the stuff that I told her, at some point, maybe she'll get an epiphany and she'll remember what I said. Hopefully. it's kind of like with these videos. I only have like 13 subscribers. I only have, you know, 5, 10, 20, 30 views. If I can face to face, like with these people I talk to, face to face, if I help one person, I'm happy. Just like on these videos. I don't have very many views. If I help one person better themselves out here in the trucking industry, I'm happy. If all I have is 10 people watching or 13 forever, I'm happy. You know, there's some people say, well, why are you doing this? You know, they're just going to crowd into your industry. Like, they're already out here, whether they're a company, owner operator, lease operator, whatever, we're all out for the same freight. I'm not telling them what I'm hauling. I'm not telling them what I'm hauling it for. You know, and my numbers is different than your numbers and different than his numbers. You know, so I'm going to help you out by a little bit of knowledge that I have, or maybe help you, you know, a little bit of guidance, or maybe, you know, what little bit I say is going to click something, so where you actually think of something that's actually going to help you. Which brings me to the gentleman that brought all this on today. Last night I stayed up in Lamar, Missouri. And this morning I was coming out of the truck stop and I seen this side of the trailer. It's the same company I was leased to years ago. His as the closer I got, all of a sudden, you know, because he was out in front of the truck and he went back in front of beside the truck, and closer I got, all of a sudden I see his headset scooting across the parking lot. And about this time I'm right there and I can see him, and he's kicking his steer tire. And, you know, so me being me, I asked him if I could help. You know, I got a little extra stuff. He had the same truck I do, you know, a Cascadia. You know, I got couple extra filters. I got belts, used belts, but I got a belt in here. And, you know, I could probably help. Little stuff. He proceeded to tell me, you know, I was really wanting to get the hell out of there, get moving so I could get down here. But I went ahead and asked him, and he said, no, pay sucks, and I'll probably end up losing it just like my brother did. And he goes, oh, and he also said, I'm just treading water. I said, what? You know, so he kind of explains it a little bit. You know, a couple weeks ago, his brother got his truck repoed, and he's pulling for that same company. So we talked about his brother's numbers and his numbers, and I said, you know, you really can't go by your brother. You got to go by your numbers. I go, you know, yeah, you feel bad for your brother, but you really got to pay attention to your numbers, unless you guys are one company and you guys are running together, which doesn't sound like you guys are. He says, no. I said, you feel bad for your brother, but you got to get out of this rut. I go, if you're just treading water, do your research. Figure out where you could probably go to make more money. I go, because you're on mileage pay. The only way you're going to make more money is if you do like multi-stops where you get an extra pay. Because you're lucky if you get $1.10, $1.14 once you figure in your deadhead in there. And he says, yeah, he goes, sometimes less. I said, well, there you go. So an hour and a half later of us discussing all this, he looks a lot, you know, you could see in his eyes and his facial expressions and his whole demeanor, you know, he's feeling a little better. looks like a little less doom and gloom. So I hope I helped him out a little bit as far as maybe looking at bettering himself, moving to a different company. Why do we put ourselves in these zones, or how do we become so complacent? I don't know. We need somebody there, like I got my wife, she kind of kicks me in the butt every once in a while, kind of helps out there. But I don't know. And then for the last new truck stop down there from here, it's up there. I-44 just east of Joplin. Exit 13, I-44. Big Apple truck stop is the name. Exit 13. They're not all the way finished. The building and the parking area is, but it looks from the sign they're going to have a truck wash there, dog park, and a dog wash. Probably because Petro over there's got a dog wash and everything, probably. It's easier getting in and out of that place at exit 13 it is the next exit west at the Flying J. Much easier. You got a couple circles, roundabouts on exit 13. No lights, just circle things. They done all that work out in front of the Flying J. You got to take 71 or 49, however you want to look at it, and then go south the next exit and then come back into it. Kind of a pain in the ass. But go ahead and check it out. I think it's Indian owned because they got Indian cuisine and Indian desserts in there and all kinds of stuff. But nice place, nice people. Once this COVID-19 stuff's over, it looks like it's going to be a decent place to eat in there too. You guys enjoyed the video? Go ahead and like it. You got any comments? Something you'd want me to give my advice on, or give my 2 cents worth, or what have you? Go ahead and give me a comment. Share the video. Like, share, and subscribe, by God. You guys have a good day. Keep shiny side up.